The Presidential Seder. Ivanka and Jared decided to invite their presidential father to the Seder one night. They cleaned their home and no one complained. Not even a smidgen of chametz remained. Knowing their father never liked second best, they pulled out their china so he could attest that the pattern was outstanding, in fact divine, and that no other Seder had a pattern as fine. Their kiddish cups of crystal had magnificent lines for Baron Rothschild's picks of the grandest of wines. The silverware was heavy, a placing of 8, 3 forks, 2 spoons, 2 knives, and the plate. Their large Seder plate was a sight to behold. Its sections were carved from a plate of pure gold. The boiled eggs came from China 1,000 years each. The gefilte fish so fresh purchased from Miami Beach. They pulled out an array of fresh roasted nuts, the finest of course, no ifs, ands, or buts. The tablecloths were spun of the highest grade silk, none from Mexico or India or any of that ilk. Next to each of the settings, the waiters did place haggadahs whose bindings were covered in lace. The pillows were filled with the softest of down, a Duck Dynasty gift, the fluffiest in town. The president's arrival was anything but normal. Trumpets gave notice that the evening was formal. F-18s roared overhead in salute as they landed. The president and Melania posed for shots that were candid. Then into the house they all went inside, leaving unhappy reporters fit to be tied. Bloody Marys were mixed, stirred but not shaken, with potato vodka inside so they all could partake in. After drinks were passed round, they all saw a sight of something that gave Ivanka a bit of a fright. Where the children were to sit, her dad built a wall of colorful Legos about 2 feet tall. "Dad, please stop what you're doing," Ivanka interjected. "You're in my house now, and I want to be respected." Her dad said, "Okay, I was just having my way. Besides, if I built it, there was no way you'd pay." It was then Jared decided to lead by design. He begged they all sit down and sample the wine. The kiddish was made with the glasses held high, but Melania accidentally spilled some on her thigh. From the table she rose, dabbing her designer gown. What at first was deep red was now slightly brown. She scrubbed with mild soap as much as she was able until finally she managed to return to the table. By then, the kids were dipping twigs of parsley in water. The president was beaming with pride for his daughter. "You've done a great job with these 3 little ones. You're a great little mother, and you've stuck to your guns." "Oi gewalt," Ivanka responded, not being coy. "What do you take me for, some little goy? Being Jewish is fun. I know which way is up. You would too if you had a Yiddish cup." The president grinned broadly and picked up the book. "So when do we eat?" he asked with a look. "It won't be much longer," Jared reported. "I'm sorry, I'm hungry," the president retorted. They read the 4 questions, and the first cup they sipped. Jared read the narration, and 3 matzahs he gripped. "This is the bread of affliction," he announced to them all. "Let everyone taste it, no matter how small." They sampled bitter herbs, and they tasted the sweetness of charosis made in Egypt that gave them completeness. The second cup of wine they tasted with zeal, and they ate a Hillel sandwich right before the meal. After they all sampled fish, it was time for the group to have matzo ball swimming inside chicken soup. After the plates were all clear, there was brisket au jus with potatoes and carrots in presidential review. Baked chicken and smoked turkey rounded out the meats. For dessert, chocolate matzah and sugary treats. The afikoman, which was hidden, was found by a maid, instructed to conduct her search when Ivanka did bathe. The little ones were tired and were soon led to bed. "Guess it's time to go," the president said. "So next year in Jerusalem?" the son-in-law inquired. "No way," said Donald. "Do that and you're fired." "But I'm just reading what's in the Haggadah that's here. See, Jerusalem and the admonishment for the upcoming year." "Oh, that's different," responded the commander-in-chief. "With the trouble in Jerusalem, I'd have much more grief. And the factions with the Palestinians, well, it's always a crisis. There's Hamas and Hezbollah, and don't get me started on ISIS. And Syria, that's what you call a no-win situation. I pray every day for Assad's resignation. So thanks again, kids, for the outrageous spread. You've scored again, even with a meal without bread. The flavors were delicious and the food was so savory. I've learned a lesson, too, on the Jews and on slavery. So now I'll take my leave and fly through the skies and go back to the White House and deal with the lies of those in the media who promulgate fake news. With this Seder tonight, you're now my favorite Jews."